What's going on, guys? So I just wanted to make a quick video because I'm starting to hear all over the internet, because of course all of the freaking headlines out there are saying that Justice League reshoots are to change tone of the film. But, you know, we live in a freaking clickbait society, and I know somebody probably in the comments gonna be like, oh, this title is totally clickbait. I'm tired of fighting that argument because some people just don't know what clickbait is. But what I want to do is kind of clarify what people are saying, or why people are thinking that this is actually, these reshoots that Joss Whedon is doing are about changing tone of Justice League. Could they be? 100% yes. I mean, it was even said by Zack Snyder that, you know, he thought he wanted to bring in Joss to add some additional scenes, and we know Joss' track record with like Avengers and stuff like that. Like, he's all about bringing teams together and like lightening things up. So it's only plausible that he's actually going to be doing some of that stuff. But that doesn't mean that he came in, because a lot of people are saying that he was brought in to change the whole tone of the film and to like do everything. I don't think that's what's happening. He's just coming in to add some stuff. But let's go ahead and talk about the quote that everybody is referencing to about the change and tone of this, you know, movie. And it comes from, you know, Cyborg's dad, who is played by Joe Morton in the film. This is what he said about the reshoots. I know that with Ray Fisher, the young man who plays Victor, there were some adjustments that were made in terms of tone for that character. I think what I heard was that there was a need from the studio to lighten up the film in a way that the film felt too dark. I don't know what that meant in terms of how it actually got translated in terms of the reshoots, but that's what I heard. That's what I thought some of these reshoots were about. Boom! There goes the dynamite. This is the quote that everybody is using, and they were basically taking the words reshoots felt too dark and reshoots were about. That is what they're talking about, you know, the word tone as well, and lighten up. Those are the main, that's everybody's zoning in on that and being like, they're doing reshoots, blah, 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 to lighten up the tone. Again, could 100% be true that they are trying to lighten up this film, and I'm not even going to say that I'm opposed to that. I'm totally okay if they're trying to lighten up the freaking DCEU, because, you know, as much as I do love BVS, and I know you can kill me in the comments for that, I don't really care, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing that Boy Scout Superman like he is in the comic books. Batman's always going to be dark, so I'm always going to have my favorite part of, you know, the comic books in movies. But, you know, after seeing Wonder Woman and how, like, you can brighten up shit, well, actually it was all war things, but still, you can have, like, lighthearted stuff and still be badass movies, I'm all for it, especially if they want to brighten up Justice League, because that's the great thing about the Justice League, it's so diverse. Not everybody's like Batman, and I think that's what makes Batman so badass, is he is that dark figure in this group of, like, very positive, cool people. Anyways, though, I think a lot of people are taking some of this stuff, like, way too far, because if you read this freaking quote, he says, I heard and thought a couple of times in this quote, meaning he's not even sure if that's exactly what the reshoots were about. And he even mentions in this article that he wasn't really part of the reshoots, or like the tonal changes didn't involve his character. I think he might have reshot one or two things, but it wasn't to like change the tone in anything. I think it was just to add to the scene or whatever, add some context to maybe another scene. So I think a lot of people are just running with this, and of course, you know, like I said, we live in a clickbait society. Now, I don't know how much you can really change the tone of this film. I mean, they've released 2 trailers already. You kind of have the feeling of what the trailers are gonna, I mean, what the movie's gonna feel like because of the trailers. It's gonna be very dark, like you see that. I mean, it's gonna be a movie about war, basically, and trying to save the world. So it's not gonna be this, like, upbeat kind of tone thing. I mean, I guess, like I said, they could add some things, like the camaraderie in the film could be, like, lightened up a bit, and I think that's what's gonna happen. I mean, we've had photos come out recently of, like, Batman's The Flying Fox, like that big old jet, and what it's about, like, you know, the insides of it and stuff like that. So we have those kind of photos, and I think that's where a lot of the, like, team's gonna be built, because they're gonna be traveling a lot in that thing. But I think the tone of this film is going to be very what Zack Snyder wanted, and that is going to be a dark, kind of, like, war type movie. So in regards to this quote, it could be true that they are changing the tone, but it doesn't seem like Joe is very sure about this. He's going off a lot about, like, I heard and I thought and blah blah blah. And so I wouldn't jump to any conclusions. And I think WB, yes, they want to lighten up their films a bit, but I don't think they're gonna change too much, because we saw what happened when the WB sees like something they really like and then they try to force it in there with Suicide Squad when they got the guy that created the damn trailer and they're like, hey, cut our movie for us, and it decided to be the worst decision they could have ever made. I think WB is stepping away from those days. With the success of Wonder Woman, they're going to try to make the best films possible. They have Joss Whedon in here. And yeah, you know, if Joss has already came and made some changes. I mean, he changed the composer. Apparently his reshoots are pretty big opposed to being these little reshoots that they're doing. So yes, again, for the final time, I think they could be changing the tone. But from this quote, I don't get that idea that it's 100% set in stone. I think it's just a lot of hearsay. Let me know what you want to see from Justice League in the comment sections down below. Guys and gals, don't forget, if you ever want to support this channel, you can check out the Patreon like these awesome people did, or you can do the OG thing to give this video a thumbs up and share it with all of your Justice League buddies. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all things nerdy and geeky on this channel. As always, I'm your host, JUICEbox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. Have I had my daily dose of juice? See you guys next time. Bye.